Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Guys, it's Tuesday, July 1st, and we just had the highest Bitcoin monthly close ever. What does that mean for price action? Guys, yesterday I talked about the support level where we had a converging dynamic reactor and quantum reactor in the golden pocket. Where did the price head down to and bounce? Hey, it's what we do. Let's talk about a lot of stuff today, guys. We're going to be breaking down news for you today. We've got some hefty headlines. We got a lot of headlines, more headlines than I've had in a while. We're going to talk about Musk and Trump. Got to talk about that. The craziness going on there. The American Party. Is there a new party? 40%. 40% chance, according to Kalshi, that Elon Musk on the prediction market, Elon Musk will create a new party called the American Party, and who will he put at the seat of that? It will be interesting to see, because it can't be him. Obviously, he can't run for president. He's not a U.S. citizen. So, well, he's a U.S. citizen. He's not a natural born citizen. There we go. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, we got that to go through. We're going to talk about Tesla shares selling off like crazy right now. Bitcoin price prediction. CNBC, traditional finance markets news channel, talking about Bitcoin today and that it's setting up for another move right now. Then there's also a $200,000 price prediction out there for Bitcoin. We're going to talk about gold and silver being made an official currency in the state of Texas, and stablecoin issuer Circle applying for a bank charter, guys, trying to be a bank. So it's going to be interesting, all this stuff. We're going to break all this down. We're going to look at these markets that are kind of mixed right now, and we're going to talk about what we can see on Bitcoin and crypto today. You guys ready? You guys know what time it is. Everyone take your seats, get your notebooks out. It's time. It's time. Class is in session. Let's go. Let's get it. It's Tuesday. It's July 1st. Let's party it out and let's go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report here on the Piper Academy Network. I'm Army Piper. This is my co-host, OC, and we're here to break down the markets for you guys and give you everything. We got some data that just came out this morning, OC. It is the JOLTS job openings and the ISM manufacturing. So we're getting ready to take a look at that in just a moment. But how are you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Still battling with this sickness. Yesterday, I went to take a COVID-19 test. It came out negative. Also did a influenza thing. Also came out negative. So I'm all cleared. And oh my goodness, that was torture. They take that freaking thing like that and they stick it on your nose and they freaking twist it like there was no tomorrow. And then when you're freaking about to cry, they pull it off. Dude,
they tickle your brain, horrible. Man. They tickle your brain. You're like, yeah, I hate that thing, man.
God. I wanted to smack that guy, but I know I know it's a job, and well, I need to suck it up just like him. Nonetheless, pretty happy that I'm not getting neither influenza. This is just a pretty bad, I don't know, coughing and getting stuff and everything, but pretty pumped. No, actually, something that really got me today was the news that you were saying. Remember back in the day, you were, I think, when you were traveling back and forth, I took over and I said, what if, right, hypothetically, if Elon Musk run for president and, oh no, maybe the side thing that can happen is taking over. I don't know. Kind of funny, kind of scary. How is Trump and Trump and Musk relationship right now? What do you think?
It's on shaky ground, man. That's what it is. There is no relationship there. I would say that he has a better relationship than the Taliban and the Pope. How about that? That's about the only people that have a better relationship than those two right now. Yeah, I just
Oh
had to get
man.
the chat up here. I didn't even have the chat set up, guys. I got a lot going on today. Not only the show and getting all this news out for you guys and reading through all this stuff and trying to wrap my brain around everything. I also I got an electrician on the way to the house right now. Actually, that's why we were late. OC was listening to me on the phone with the electrician, so he's coming out to install some switches, and then yeah, I got another guy coming, an IT guy today, running a dedicated line back to ZTS Rhythms Room. Yes, he's spoiled. I'm giving him 1 gig internet hardwired to his room. So I complained that he plays video games more than he adults, and then I give him high speed internet. So I'm probably to blame for his downfalls. Let's go check out the chat right now. We got Mike playing here. Berkoshi Nero De Nero, BC Port Corp doubling down on Circle News today. Yes, there you go, sir. There you go. He hates USDC and he hates Circle, but he does not deny that it is potentially going to be a big moneymaker. So Crypto Coin Mindset, shout out to Keith. If you guys don't follow Crypto Coin Mindset, we redirect you on quite a bit over here, but if you guys are not following him, you should be. Not a whole lot of people in here right now, obviously. That's okay. We don't care. I don't care if there's only one of you. If somebody gets any info that's valuable out of my show, I will keep doing it. So Ninja Glock, I see you, man. Username in the house right now, too. Circle. CRCL, he said. Alexandra G, the mod queen. Allie G, what's up, lady? How you doing? That's my Los Angeles queen right there. My Los Angeles angel. Mod queen. That's what it is, yes. Robert Mulligan, shout out to you. I see you, JR, cranking out the trades over there in the Discord. Glad to see you here, man. And the XYZOZYX on time today. Good morning, dudes and dudettes. Good morning to you. I'm glad you made it today. Let's see. Frank the Tank Degen, Porky Pig Party. Let's go. Sweet. What? Anyway. What else we got? Who else we got in here? We got Dylan VA. Good to see you here. And Wix Wi-Fi 89. Hey, I'm glad that I got all the names back again. That whole bug that was going on in the system, it was messed up, and Wix Wi-Fi 89 was just not showing up the way that it should. So that's all fixed now. That's good. I'm glad to see that. Anybody that I missed in here? Let's see. Let me see any late comers to the show. Nope, I think I got them all. We're good. Much love, Army Piper. I love you, lady. You're the best. All right. Let's go and check out some news, OC, and then we'll come back and talk about the Bitcoin chart. Actually, let's go talk about the Bitcoin chart first. We're going to do that. Then we'll jump into the news. So, OC, let's kick it over to you. What are we seeing on Bitcoin right now? We pulled right down to the golden pocket, bro, nailing that level that we talked about yesterday. So, what's next on the playlist for Bitcoin, OC?
Absolutely. So I think that we're going to keep ranging for a little bit more. We're getting ready to bounce up. Hopefully, in fact, I think this is a decision key area for Bitcoin. And remember, I am expecting Plan A to hit somewhere around 101, 110, and 112-ish zone in between this box. We almost got it in here. Nonetheless, it's taking a little bit longer than I was expecting. I was expecting maybe 1 or 2 bounces. And then maybe a short bounce to then hit it off in here, something like this but bigger, and seems like it's kind of like doing it but taking its time. So as long as we don't lose the dynamic reactor, and I would say by losing it, I could even go a little bit lower in here, there we go, and not lose the actual 105 104 area, right? Because I mean, we could absolutely had a little bit of a fake out here or a little bit of a V-shaped recovery. As long as we don't lose this area and go like this, I don't think that we are supposed to be getting worried at this point. We haven't taken previous important highs. That's why we haven't just changed back from red to green. Still the bearish trend still pushing into here until we start taking previous important highs. We're not going to change of color. But so far, again, as I mentioned, I think that right now we are in key areas for Bitcoin to bounce. I'm just going to be waiting for that flip of the ribbon. We still have that much to go low, right? And let me be a little bit more precise in here. And let's figure out how much can we do if we go like, if we have that much. So for example, in here, let's see, that went down. There we go. Since we have this low right there, look at that. We can do a big push to the downside, right? Let's go and measure the next one. What happened when we had, like, for example, let's see. This one did not play it out farther down. This one did. There we go. So here it is. What we got, a farther move to the downside. So it's not joke at this point. We're still in danger. Not because things seem stable. They mean that they're gonna stay stable. Remember, news manipulation. Let's just also call it news fundamentals can change things from one point to another, especially when we are delicate, right? I mean, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. I think that's something that has played out very nicely on this channel. But so far, holding its ground, being proud of you, Bitcoin, so far. Do not lose your grounding here. Let's just change this out of the way. Perfect. Let's even put it a little bit lower here. As long as we don't lose this area, I think we're good to go. And for entries, there's nothing else than for me to tell you, wait for the flip of the ribbon, try to catch a low in here somewhere around those areas. And again, with the flip of the ribbon, at whatever support we might have right down there. In this case, we also have a POC money flow, right? So anything in between here will be good to go, and try to aim for the topping here. Use a stop loss because this could transform into a going lower, and you'll see that if we reject off the zero line right here as we're coming back up. So be careful. I'm still pretty bullish on Bitcoin, to be honest. I still think that we're gonna hit 110, but we need to be careful right now in these areas. It's either make or break zones. So other than that, passing it over to you, Piper.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and jump into the news and break this all down. Guys, first of all, looking at the metrics dashboard today, we are sitting currently at a $3.291 trillion on the crypto market cap total. The trend on that being 3.99 trillion, undervaluation 17.69%. Looking at the current risk levels for Bitcoin, we are currently sitting at 54.3% right now, which is, still a 2x DCA level that we're watching there. And then when we look at the Bitcoin dominance right now with stablecoins, 64.37%, without stables, 69.48%. Liquidations in the past 24 hours, we're looking at 87,658 traders liquidated in the past 24 hours. Total liquidations coming in at 214.27 million. Largest single liquidation order happened on Binance. It was Bitcoin. It was for 2.29 million bucks. So if you got 2.29 million dollars throw away on Bitcoin, go for it, bro. Let's talk about the crypto bubbles. Looking at the daily, like I said, quite a bit of red. Flip it over to the hourly, though, tells a different story to us, and that is that we are getting a little bit of a return after overnight retracement on the Asian market. Bitcoin currently sitting at 107, 151. It was down in the 105s this morning. Ethereum still down about 0.5% on the daily, but making a return of 0.5%. So that would be that it was down 1%. Now it's 50% retracement there, 100% retracement technically. We'll discuss that maybe later. $2,452 for Ethereum. Got my ETH shirt on today. There you go. XRP up 1.1%. This is moving off of the rumors going around that XRP might have an ETF coming and that they're applying for one. Sitting at $2.20. BNB down just slightly on the daily. Solana's down 1.1%, giving back some of that pump, that mega pump that it had off of the Solana ETF news. Swept out that liquidity, BC Port Corp says. Look at that Tron here, up about 0.8%. What else we got? Big movers today. Let's see. Dogecoin's down 2.2. We got Avalanche down 2.6. Toncoin down 3.3%. Nothing really bad. It's just kind of a stagnant market right now. And that Bitcoin just, its pullback did a little sweep down lower on the alts, of course. That's how it works. Looking at that fear and greed index, guys, we're sitting at 64 currently in greed right now. Tex-Mex Biomex, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Good to see you here. Always happy to see the Billy Goat Tales team in the house with us. Tony, glad to see you, bro. We're looking at 64 right now. We're in greed still. It's been there for a hot minute. We'll come back to that one there in a minute there. But guys, history has been made. Bitcoin just closed its best month ever. Bitcoin recorded its highest monthly monthly close in history yesterday. Powerful signal of strength as bulls tighten their grip. New highs aren't a question of if, but when. All eyes on Bitcoin right now. And I want to talk about this real fast here because a positive month of June concludes 3 consecutive green months in a row for Bitcoin. How do we think July will play out? Are we in for a summer lull, or is Q3 going to be Bitcoin's strongest of 2025? Leave your educated guesses below. Just take a look here. We're looking at 2025 here. Okay, we had 3 months in a row, 14.2% upside, 11%, 3.54%. That would be the second quarter of 2025. So when you go over here and you take a look in the previous cycles, when we've had 3 consecutive months of June, or even just June by itself as green, we had follow on of red in 2023. Okay, but let's look at 2021. No, it doesn't match up at all. We had the second quarter lull, not a third quarter lull, which would have been the fourth year of the halving cycle, right? Looking here at 2019, we had 3 consecutive months, but then that followed by a red July. Okay. Go to 2017, though, which if you go back 2025, 2021, 2017, that's the fourth year cycle of that year. And we had 3 consecutive months followed by 2 more months with a major rally of 65.6% back in 2017. Of course, back in 2016, again, green month followed by 2 red. So after 3 consecutive green months there, guys, it's really a flip of a coin of what we could see in July based off of historical cycle patterns, right? And it doesn't always repeat, but it often rhymes. So it does look like we're seeing here the potential for a red July. Keep that in mind. But we have some news articles that are saying something a little bit different today. Let's go jump over into the stock market. Take a look at the TradFi side of the world, guys. Dow Jones currently up about 0.4%. S&P flat at 0.07. NASDAQ down just slightly at 0.22%. And the Russell 2K at 0.2%. 0.2% to the downside, not huge in the stock market, but still a downside movement. We are seeing some VIX volatility index here coming into the green again, sitting at 16.82, pushing up on that close to that 17% mark. Anything above that, we start to see some price move swings, right? So be aware, price action swings could be in the works today. Looking at Europe's market overnight, all in the red. Asia markets mixed with the Nifty 50 and the Shanghai as the only two that come out green. Everything else moving red there. We are seeing a pump back up just slightly. Nothing major, 0.031%, or 0.031 points there. On the 10-year Treasury yield, guys, it's sitting at 4.25%. This is where we've been on the bottom side, where we start to get those bounces from between 4.2 to 4.7 is where this thing just keeps bouncing from bottoms to top. So it's got a range going in there. I would like to see this go lower, though. Would help out a lot of people financially if they could borrow money a little bit cheaper. Looking at oil today, it's getting a move back up to the upside, up about 0.5%, sitting at $65.43 per barrel. Brent is in the green, RBOB gas and ULSD, with natural gas being the only thing to the downside today by 4.63%. Let's take a look here at gold. Gold is moving back up. It's above $3,300 a fin. Again, guys, I said a fin. I saw Dutch. You need fans, not fins. I see you, Dutch. What's up, bro? Gold is up 1.64% today, sitting at $3,361. Silver over $36 again. Copper moving back up. Platinum and palladium all moving to the upside. And yeah, I think that's about it on the TradFi side. Let's talk about the economic data that just came out. Of course, Chair Powell speaking this morning. That's happening right now, too. So even more of a catalyst for some volatility to come into play. But looking at ISM manufacturing, guys, was at 48.5. They expected it to be 48.8, 49.2. Guys came in at 49. So ISM manufacturing looking like there is a little bit of inflation there. The ISM manufacturing PMI edged up to 49 June 2025 compared to forecast of 48.8, signaling economic activity in the manufacturing sector contracted for the 4th consecutive months. However, the rate of contraction has slowed amid a rebound. So we're seeing that bottoming effect take place there on the ISM manufacturing. Let's talk about JOLTS job openings, though. This one is interesting. We talked about the scenario of weakening labor market. and inflation and the effect on the Fed Reserve's decision-making process for rate cuts, rate hikes, rate pauses, right? If you look here, 7.395 million. This is a revision. This was revised from 7.391. So actually, there was more job openings last month than previously reported. Consensus was out to be 7.371 to the downside. Guys, came in at 7.76 million on Jolt's job openings. So, Piper, what does that mean? Explain it to me. I'm glad you asked, OC. The number of job openings in the U.S. rose by 374,000 to 7.769 million in May, the highest level since November 2024, and well above the market expectation of that 7.3 million job openings. Largest gains were seen in accommodation and food services, which added 314,000 job openings, followed by finance and insurance with an increase of 91,000. Let's jump over here and talk about what Meet Kevin said. Come here, Meet Kevin. Where are you at? He said, Jolts beat nicely, 7.769 versus 7.3 expected. More quits, more people quit their jobs. There was a higher job opening rate, and we had lower layoffs. All bullish labor market, which is bullish for markets. So, yeah. Yeah, no cut. That's what I'm thinking, guys. I know that we keep seeing this number September being the goal, the target for the first rate cut. I really do think it could be October. And as we talked about yesterday, if we see an October rate cut, it's in line with what they were talking about of 4 rate cuts starting in October. That would be October, December. There's no FOMC meeting in November. So October, December, January, March, because there's no meeting in February. That would be 4 at 25 basis points per. That would put us down to 3.5% by March 2026, which would be a significant easing of the quantitative side. So, yeah, let's see what else we have this week that we need to keep our eye on. Let's go here. Let's back it up like we left something, and then let's go talk about what we're seeing down below. Oh, yeah, by the way, manufacturing employment did slow, but we're seeing that pickup of jobs in the food sector. So, this week, guys, tomorrow, nothing big. ADP employment change is coming in. It's not a major one. It's not highlighted in red. Thursday is going to be our next big event, and that is non-farm payrolls, which was 139,000 previously. We're expecting 110, as low as 100,000. That could be significant, and of course, a 0.1% unemployment rate increase. So, keep Thursday on your scope, in your radar, and pull that trigger on some trades when you see that volatility play out. I do think that if we see the Jolts job openings here, or the unemployment rate increase and the non-farm payrolls increase, that is going to be taken as bullish news, because it means that they can't cut rates yet, and that's status quo. We have already been operating in that environment. Now, if it's low, and it means that, hey, they might be cutting rates, then it would be double bullish. I think the only thing that makes this really bad is if it was way lower or way higher. Okay, so I think that we're going to see some bullish play off of the unemployment rate. I really do. Let's talk about those Fed rate cuts and what those are looking like now. Looking at this, there we go. 78.8% chance of a rate of no change in July. So that's pretty much established, I think. 30 July is when our next FOMC meeting is, and I do not think we are going to see a rate cut in July. September is the one where they're predicting the highest likelihood, 94.9% chance. And as a matter of fact, there's almost a 20% chance, according to the CME group right now, that we will see a 22. So 50 basis points, 225 points together for a 50 basis point rate cut, which would be insane. I really think that the first time we actually see it going to be October. This is where I think we're going to see our rate cut. And then again, December, January, March. But as of right now, this is showing that there's a high likelihood, almost 95% of a September rate cut. We will have to wait and see. I'm going to touch on this real quick. Musk shredded Trump's tax bill. If you guys are on X, you know all about this. He called it debt slavery and vows to unseat the Republicans that back it. So the big question is over here on X. Let me check this out here. Where is it at? Yeah, all kinds of drama. Kabisi listen, breaking news. President Trump was just asked about deporting Elon Musk. So there you go. There's that. Trump says he has to take a look, and Elon Musk could lose a lot more than the EV, the electric vehicle mandates. And then the odds of Elon Musk creating a new political party in 2025 surged to 40% on the Kalshi prediction market. This comes as Elon Musk has proposed forming a new party, the America Party. Merca Party. Would you vote for a third party? That's the big question. Let's jump back over here and let's see what's going on here with all of this. So he may have stopped openly feuding with President Donald Trump, but Elon Musk is not backing off on his bid to kill Trump's signature mega bill. Tesla and SpaceX CEO unloaded money on the massive tax and spending legislation that Trump is pushing Republicans to quickly ram through Congress, labeling it as debt slavery bill and calling out its supporters by name. The uber-rich Musk, who spent around $290 million backing Trump and other Republicans in 2024 election cycle and beyond, has called for a new political party. In response to that, Tesla shares tumbled after Trump says Doge should maybe take a look at Elon Musk's subsidies. Interestingly enough, Elon Musk never wanted the subsidies. He never asked for them. So he's all, yeah, cut them all, like get rid of it. That's what I've been saying in Doge. So kind of fell on a nice little bounce back, a little reversal there from Elon Musk onto Donald Trump's threats. But shares of Tesla were under pressure on Tuesday after Donald Trump said in a late night social media post that the federal government should look into cutting subsidies to Elon Musk's company. Elon may get more subsidy than any human being in history by far, is what Trump said. But Doge refers to the so-called government Department of Government Efficiency, and he said that maybe perhaps we should have Doge take a good hard look at this. Big money to be saved. The Tesla stock was down more than 5% in pre-market trading Tuesday. Some of Musk's other ventures, including SpaceX and Starlink, are heavily reliant on government policy. So he's playing a dangerous game here with for the shareholders and the companies. But I don't disagree with. I think the mega bill could be problematic, especially on the carrying of debt. We already carry way too much debt in the United States. So let's go talk about this levels of the liquidity zones, liquidation zones here real fast, and then we'll talk about what I'm seeing here on this article about $200,000 Bitcoin. We'll talk about that for a second. Guys, we did come down and clean out a little bit more of this liquidity down here on that bounce that we came down to, but we have a really big hot zone of several $1 billion. Matter of fact, that one area right there is 1.2 billion. That one line right there. So there's a lot of liquidity sitting here starting right about 108 to 109, 108K and 109K. But let's talk about CNBC's article. This is TradFi News here. They're talking about Bitcoin's trading pattern is starting to trade for the better. Let's see what they're saying here. Bitcoin has been relatively calm over the past month. Yep, $107,000 stable coin. While the stock market has reclaimed higher highs and recent initial public offerings have ripped higher, the leading cryptocurrency has not made a new high since May 22nd. Bitcoin appears to be trading slightly different now than previously, with an increasingly higher correlation to high quality growth stocks than hyper growth junk stocks, which it is more correlated to previously. Moving down here and take a look. More proof of the growing demand for Bitcoin from mainstream investors is shown by the ETF inflows. If Bitcoin continues to become enmeshed in traditional finance, then the underlying supply-demand dynamics of the digital coin should lead to further gains. The number of millionaires on Earth now far exceeds the number of Bitcoin, and the number of people who become millionaires will grow faster than the number of Bitcoins can grow. In fact, that growth slows down every 4 years, just so you guys know. Creating some supply and demand imbalances, the legitimacy of Bitcoin now held in ETFs and available for custody by financial advisors has created a demand argument that has some investors thinking it could continue appreciating at the 60% per year rate that it has for the past 15 years. Let's jump over here and talk about this, OC, because you know me, the longer I've been in crypto, the more I understand Bitcoin maxis. And I do like to trade altcoins. I do think there's some quick money to be made in altcoins, but the majority of my portfolio is and will remain in Bitcoin. And according to this, we're seeing this whole argument for, that time I've said before, I've never gone to an exchange and said, I want to buy Bitcoin and been told, I'm sorry, sir, we're all out of Bitcoin. Never happened. Could we see that as this demand continues on, that exchanges are just fighting and paying insane money to get Bitcoin, to sell Bitcoin, to make fees. Because let's be honest, they're making some off of arbitrage, but they really make their money on fees. They got to have the product to sell if they're going to make their fees. So what are your thoughts on this, man? Supply demand shock is what they're basically talking about here on CNBC. What's your thoughts on this?
A
Sorry,
few moments
I really
later.
think it was at this moment that he knew he fucked up. All right, so that was the best one. So I absolutely that think that I think that's what's going to happen. Nevertheless, I just think there's going to be a um, flash crash, if we want to call it that way, until they realize, because I think they already know that the way to actually keep and hold Bitcoin is not by buying them themselves, but by borrowing from their clients. And just like the bank, right? They don't actually buy money. They don't buy fiat. They don't use their own fiat. They offer big investors good returns or good whatever, right? And they use that money to lend other smaller investors or smaller people, businesses, right? So I think the same is going to happen with brokers. I think at the end of it all, at this point, brokers something like Binance, KuCoin, BitGet, Bybit. I mean, you name it, all of those out there. Well, almost all of those right there are basically banks at this point, unofficial banks that they even do offer you a kind of like fiat like returns, even much better if you keep their counterpart in crypto, USDC, USDT. In its time, be what was it? USD. I don't quite remember. But the point is that we seeing these brokers adopting more and more and more the same behavior that fiat banks do, right? So I think that's going to happen. That absolutely is going to happen, and then very quickly we're going to be saying, you know what? We offer you this. If you bring your 2, 3, 4, 5, 30 Bitcoins in here, you get with us zero fees. This, and that. And if your losses are between I don't know, a 15%, don't worry, we ignore them, right? Something like that. So
Yep.
they have the cash inflow to learn or sell some other one, and I think they're gonna start moving out of spot into futures.
Yeah, well, and when you look at the idea that Bitcoin um, has this, this draw, that it's a common household name now. Like I can ask people randomly on the street, "Have you heard of Bitcoin?" And they're like, "Yeah, I don't understand it, but I've heard of it." Right? Ask them about Ethereum, and they're like, "I don't know what that is." And it's the second biggest one. Like Bitcoin has become a household word that people are familiar with. But I think that especially when you see articles from CNBC, these are what the majority of people watch. I know we feel like a big community in crypto. We're really not. When you look at the total market cap of a stock market, Wall Street versus the crypto bros, it's just an astronomical difference, right? We're super minority in the finance world right now. But I think as Bitcoin starts to break these astronomical numbers, and you see the continuation of companies just picking up. Where am I selling to? I canceled my cruise, Tex-Mex. I canceled my cruise to the Mexican Riviera. Just because we still have too much going on, and I'm not trying to add a bunch more to the table right now. So I canceled that, but I'm cruising on a ship like this in January. I'll be on a longboat, Viking longboat, in the rivers of Europe in December. So there you go. Anyway, I had to ask. Had to ask. He had to. But when you see these price predictions coming out and we start to see Bitcoin break, excuse me, goodness, I felt that sneeze coming on and tried to fight it, couldn't make it. And trying to see these $200,000 targets coming on Bitcoin, I think that you're going to hear even more of these companies picking up, putting it on their treasury and making it happen. So I have another article here. I'm going to bring you up with me, OC. But this is an article here from Cointelegraph this morning talking about Bitcoin targeting $200,000 as a profit metrics enter we've said this here on the show, cautiously optimistic zone. I've been cautiously optimistic for a while now since Bitcoin hit a strong bottom. That's I'm buying back. Bitcoin's high profitability signals a possible correction in the short term, but a $200,000 Bitcoin in 2025 OC. So we're getting in line with our original stuff that we were talking about on the Bitcoin price prediction video. Bitcoin supply and profits soars to 98%. So this means that 98% of all Bitcoin is in profit currently that people have bought. The supply and profit rose to sharply 98% from 87% between June 22nd and Sunday. According to on-chain data from Glassnode as of Tuesday, about 96.7% of all Bitcoin in profit, sitting above the high band as shown in the chart below. You can see there's your not in profit and in profit. There you go. We're above it. We're above it there. So between January and April, for instance, Bitcoin fell to 74,000 from about 109, a drop preceded by Bitcoin's profitable supply rising to as high as 98%. Come down here and take a look. While this reflects strong market confidence, it hints at heightened risk of profit taking, because when we hit those levels, we do see profit taking happen. But demand exhaustion, if price momentum falls, could take place. The market looks to have entered a cautiously optimistic regime with stronger positioning from institutional players and renewed accumulation. And we've discussed that ad nauseum here on the show, that a lot of the Bitcoin being bought up right now is it's being bought up by off chain, across, OTC, over the counter, from places like, MicroStrategies, all these different companies that are picking up Bitcoin and adding it to their actual treasuries, right? Their reserves. So when you see the ETFs, if that's not BlackRock, I hate that comment. BlackRock bought this much. No, BlackRock didn't buy squat. ETF buyers, TradFi, Wall Street bros wanted exposure to Bitcoin, and they bought that, and BlackRock picks that up for them. BlackRock technically only owns for themselves 6 Bitcoin. Fact check it. There you go. Bitcoin is set for an explosive breakout, though, to $200,000 in November 2022. Bitcoin bounced from the bear market bottom at 15,500, staging a 590% rally to its current price in the 107K. This price action has seen higher highs and higher lows, forming a channel in the weekly time frame. Bitcoin is about to break out of a multi-year channel. An accompanying chart showed the price seeking to break above the upper trend line, with the stock money lizard setting a short-term target at 140,000 and the end of the year target at 200,000. Guys, this is what they're putting on here. This is what they're looking at. And they're looking at this chart on a weekly index with using Heikin-Ashi. Heikin-Ashi's fine when you're doing stuff like this, but you can see when it's come into these threshold lines, that's been a bounce point. If we come back down, they're talking about looks like $91,300 here. That's what they're watching for as a bounce point before it heads up higher. Guys, take a look here at what we have in that price point. Let's go over here. Let's grab that BTC1. Let's take a look. What is that level that they were talking about? $91,000. Oh, look, that would be a CME gap set on April 22nd. It makes complete sense to me what they're showing there. And that's that's the thing to watch. That's the level. I think if we come down and hit that 91,670 range at the bottom of the CME gap, that would be the point of bounce that we're seeing on that article. And they're talking about in there a move all the way up to 140,000 in the short term, $200,000 by the end of this year. OC, your thoughts on this, bro? Those are some numbers. Those are some numbers that are higher than even on my golden pocket topping, 117,833. What's your thoughts on this, man?
I think that's very possible. In fact, yesterday I was exploring the possibility on how low could we be going lower with Alex or crypto, and also how high could we be going into these areas. Also, Lunar Beach's crypto was in the chat, was thinking or was proposing back or recapitulating back on when we did the 2025 cycle. I remember video when I mentioned 500K. The original setups were 215, 200-ish, and 220 around those. Mine were just blowing out of the water with 500K. But I think they can actually be real. And especially if we think about right now the market cap, right, that we are holding, and then the momentum. Momentum usually it's a measurement between the speed and the volume, and that usually give us distance over mass, if that makes sense. So being that massive as we are right now, despite we have a let's just say a physical wall, which could be the golden pocket. Let's just call that with physical, right? But that is a hard build-up limit. Uh, the snowball effect of people jumping in late might be pushing further through that line. So, I mean, I don't think that there is that big of a deal when we talk about what is it, 200K, 200, 2300, right? I think they are getting closer together because the bigger the number, the more market cap we have, the smaller the percentage we need to get there, but the higher the amount of money that it requires. So I think there's a balance, and I think they're totally possible.
It will be interesting to see for sure. That's it's we talked about 167 170 based on those fib levels that I showed before, not the golden pocket, but the one that where we break and hit the 618 and just to the parabolic euphoric phase, and that was 167 to 170K, which is sitting right in between really of what they're talking about, at 140 up to 200. That's about 60K. 30,000 on top of that would be half a 60K difference. From 140 to 200, that would be 170. So it's right in line with some of the scenarios that we've talked about here on the Piper Academy Morning Market Report show, OC. But right now, I want to talk about gold real fast, and then we'll get over into some altcoins. If you want to get that gold chart ready and then knock out a couple of alts, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about Circle and what they're doing and why. Buying Circle might be the equivalent of buying, Bank of America when it went public. So guys, some crazy things happening with Circle. But let's talk about this article here, OC. Texas makes gold and silver legal tender following governor's approval. Governor Greg Abbott signed a bill into law allowing Texas residents to use precious metals for day-to-day financial transactions starting in May 2027. Some Texas residents are already expressing skepticism about a recent law passed recognizing gold and silver as legal tender in the state, as well as the establishment of transactional currency based on precious metals. In a Sunday post on X, Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced that he had signed the House Bill 1056 into law after passage into the state House of Representatives and Senate. The bill, expected to take effect May 1st, 2027, amends the state government code to recognize gold and silver as legal tender and for residents to use them in everyday transactions based on comptroller's determined value at the time. Abbott cited a clause of the U.S. Constitution stated that no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, though the law would not prohibit Federal Reserve notes or other U.S. currencies from being used as legal tender. The law would also not require any person to be forced to accept gold or silver for payment of a debt. So if they take it and you have it and you want to use it, that's what you'll be able to do. Under the Texas governor and the Republican-led legislature, the U.S. state government has moved forward with some bills proposing the adoption of cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin. On the same day, he signed House Bill 1056 into law. Abbott approved legislation for the creation of a state strategic Bitcoin reserve also. And then, there's a thing in here about people having some pushback on it. I think that may have been on X that I saw that. Basically, what they were talking about was, look, there's no way to verify that something's not plated, this and that. If you're going to have all kinds of lawsuits from people going, you gave me 80% gold and I gave you valuation for 100% gold. I didn't. I don't know, man. I don't think anyone's ever going to use it. It's cool, but am I going to take my 41 ounces of silver and start going around to buy groceries with it because a grocery store accepts silver? No, probably not. I'll keep my
I don't
silver
know.
and
Maybe you can take your file and do it. Give me 5 cents of silver, right?
look at a piece of bubble gum. No, I'll keep my supply of silver and lead right where it's at in my possession. So, OC, what's that gold looking like? And let's head over and take a look at altcoins, man.
Absolutely. Let's get started first here at the Piper Academy. Let me guys show you that now that we're going to be talking about some altcoins, that we have a trading group. Not only that, we have Mr. JR in the room. Dude, this guy is killing it. You guys should take a look at what he's posting. We also have LBC calls and we have Buck Plays. By the way, Mr. Buck doing awesome. And yesterday it was like Christmas for us. We take a lot of profits. We close a ton of altcoins in here. And of course, as we also called out our wins, we also called out the ones that, well, they were very, very close, but didn't quite hit it. So guys, check out the Piper Academy. There's a place for everyone in here. If yours it's knowledge, this is the place to go. So other than that, let's take a look at gold. And after I finished gold, I would like you, Piper, if you can, of course, explain me something that when I was starting learning about finances, kind of like it blew my mind, which is what is legal tender? Like, for example, I know gold has an intrinsic value, right? Just like maybe a piece of bread has an intrinsic value to a hungry man, right? So I can always buy something with another something, right? So what do I need the bread for say it become legal tender, right? If I already can exchange it for other goods and values. But take a look at gold in here. The 4 hours, we had a plan A and a plan B. The plan B played it faster and harder. That works not harder, but exactly to the point that we were expecting in here. And it was a mixed match because, to be honest, I was expecting a little bit of a range and then looking for in that area to either go low or go high, right? At this point, we are almost stopping in the areas of reversals here, right? Plan B played it out first and fast, and then plan A, it's taking place right now. So what am I going to be expecting? I'm going to be keep on my eyes on the same analysis. I want to have that flip of the rebound. Let me just Control C because I already have it here. Let me just scoop it over like that. I think that's going to be it. That's going to represent what we're expecting, right? And then I wanted to hold above my money flow POC exactly as we were expecting here. In fact, let's go for that like that, right? And hold above the money flow POC for my plan A. That will give me the support that I need, and even create a inverted head and shoulders pattern here that could mean that we're going to be going higher up. There is one counter measurement here. Yes, we are above the dynamic reactor. If we look closely, and if I turn this off, we are basically above the dynamic reactor and breaking above that trend line. That is fantastic, but we're still red, right? We're still red, and our prime score is still 6. I want to see a 7 on 8 or 8 to go higher and then retrace. So I still waiting for a further move to the upside, because going here means that maybe if I just do 1 or 2 candles in here, I could even go lower and still bounce on that trend line and maybe either get a better opportunity for entry, or if you guys enter in here, have a loss on my hands, right? I'd rather see a breakout retest that give me again this very clean and clear area of re-entry, and then off we go to previous highs. So far, I'm gonna keep plan A under the sight. But other than that, remember the bearish possibility that is maybe going for 3,291 possible re-entry. So, Piper, what is legal tender means?
So legal tender, according to ChatGPT, to get the exact definition, legal tender is any, and this is problematic because I want you to hear this definition. Legal tender is any form of money that is officially recognized by a government as acceptable for paying debts and financial obligations. So it's government recognized currency, regardless of what it is, right? When a currency is declared legal tender, here's the problem set. You ready? It must be accepted if offered in payment of a debt. But in Texas, they're legally recognizing gold and silver as legal tender, right? That's what it says here. Texas makes gold and silver legal tender, but they are not forcing everyone to accept it. So is it really legal tender? That is the big question, isn't it? So, there you go. There you go. Let's talk about the stable coin law. We're getting ready to head over to Crypto Princess right after this. She's going live in about 3 minutes, but I want to talk about this real fast. Circle getting some news coming in. Stablecoin issuer Circle applies for a national bank charter. This is kind of a big deal, in my opinion. Circle Internet Group. Now, let's just go down here. Stablecoin issuer Circle Internet Group has applied for a national trust bank charter, moving forward on its mission to bring stablecoins into the traditional finance world after the firm's big market debut this month. CNBC confirmed this. The shares rose 1% after hours. At the office of the comptroller of the currency grants the bank charter, Circle will establish the first national digital currency bank. Under the charter, Circle, which issues USDC, will also be able to offer custody services in the future to institutional clients for assets, which could include representations of stocks and bonds on blockchain networks. That would be real-world assets tokenized, right? So Reuters first reported on Circle Bank's charter application. There are no plans to change the management of Circle's USDC reserves. That will still be held by other banks. They won't hold it themselves because they like that third-party verification of their valuation. And then Anchorage Digital is the only other crypto company to obtain such a license. Circle's move comes after a wildly successful IPO launch, 484%. The company grew in June. The company is also benefiting from a wave of optimism after the Senate's passage of the Genius Act, which would give the U.S. a regulatory framework for stablecoins. Having a federally regulated trust charter would also help Circle meet the requirements in that Genius Act. Establishing a national digital currency trust bank of this kind marks a significant milestone in our goal to build an internet financial system that is transparent, efficient, and accessible and fast, much faster than the bank. So that is Circle right there, CRCL. Let's jump over. I want to take a quick look at what the chart is looking like today on that. Let's go to, I'm on BTC1 over here still. Let's go here and let's take a look at this real fast, OC. By the way, Bitcoin currently right now losing that golden pocket, guys. If we lose this level, we have I would say watch the 50. Okay, that's at 104,437, but we have a significant fair value gap right here that probably will get hit too. Shout out to LBC. You know, he likes some fair value gaps. So shout out to you. Let's look at Circle though. Circle on the downside today, guys. Got another rejection here. Let's put this on the hourly. Got another rejection here on the value area low. Right now, maintaining a range here. We do have downside move on the oscillator ribbon. It looks like money flow is flat, but the volume is starting to drop here. I will be watching this closely on the oscillators for the hourly. Let's bring this over, put it on the hourly, drop that on Circle, and let's see what the oscillators are telling us right now. We are coming back into with the bounce on the platinum pocket here. That is the 786. That's also going to be the lower support band that we have for the new predictive ranges, because we hit the 50% there. There's your golden one. That's your lower support. This would be the bottom frame at 150. Watching right now, we do look like we're getting ready to make another wave here on the signal line of the MACD normalized. Histogram is looking pretty flat, but showing some downside movement also. Can you draw that for me? Thank you. Downside movement also. We just talked about the oscillator pro and the hourly, but look at this. We're starting to get a lot of wicks building on the RSI primed. And when we start to see those wicks print, that usually indicates that we get an upside move, just like we saw back here. There was a little upside move there, then wicks at the top showed downside move. When we start to see these wicks on the bottom side, does indicate we are getting close to a reversal on price action typically, or at least a slowdown of the move. We upside move here, went flat, and now are sideways, right? So keep an eye on that, but some big news coming out on Circle today, guys. CRCL, I'm going to be looking at that 160 range still. If we lose that 176 to 161, that's the platinum pocket. I will be picking up some more Circle. I'm just going to keep buying it. I think that there is a way for this to become a big bank move for Circle. Lunar Beaches Crypto wants to know when the wave. I got to have more members, guys. I got to have more people join as members down below in order to get emojis. If you want emoji support, if you want to do emojis in the chat, that one's only 99 cents, but it doesn't give you any access to anything else only emojis. The $4.99 gives you access to all those trades that OC showed you on the Discord, plus the Piper plan for dollar cost averaging and an exit plan for taking profits. We do what nobody else tells you. They tell you this DCA. They don't tell you how to take profits and keep some of that money for things that you might want to use it on. We do all of that and more in our Discord, and you can get that for $5 a month. It's the membership down below. Just click join. And when we get more of those, I can get more emojis. And then, yes, Lunar Beach's crypto will get his astronaut riding a surfboard on a wave. That's what will happen. He is the next emoji for that, just so you guys know. All right, OC, that's about it. We're at the top of the hour. We're going to kick this thing over to Crypto Princess. When you guys get over there, drop those graduation caps in her chat. Let her know that the alumni send their love. And Dutch, God, Dutch just always throws wrenches out of left field at me. If you can dodge a Dutch, you can dodge a wrench. Sorry, I'm way too emotional for that. All right, OC, what do you got for the people on the way out, man? Tell them about their power up today if they smash that like button.
Oh my God. Today, guys, I want to take over and tell you guys today is the last episode of Trading with OC. We're going to be taking it beer live. And of course, I had you a surprise prepare. Basically, we're going to do one more chapter and we're going to be talking about how to do knife catching. Now that we are supposed to be proficient traders, maybe we can start doing some of things. I'm going to be showing you what do I look into to try to grab the knife, and also what kind of gloves or protection that I use not to get caught in the process. I know it's a very dangerous thing to do, but we're just going to take a look at it for fun now that we have all of the basics in here. Remember, do not do this if you haven't followed the full plan and you're already a profitable trader. But other than that, guys, smash that like button, because that is going to give you one more episode with Trading with OC. And guess what? You got it.
I love it. Shout out to Alexandra G. She said, emotional damage. I love the chat here. You guys are awesome, man. You guys are why I get up every morning to do this.
Emotional damage.
It's perfect. All right. Trade Intuition, bingo bango. I see you, bro. Give you a shout out there. If you guys are not following Trade Intuition, you guys are missing out on some good trades and good philosophy on market setups and strategies, man. So guys, give him a follow. And don't forget, tune in to OC. If you smash the like button, he's going to do another episode of Trade Live with OC this evening. Markets After Dark will be coming in after that, looking at the Asian market open and tomorrow's pre-foreshadowing with Lunar Beach's crypto and Markets After Dark. And then tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp will be back doing Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. breaking down the news, the markets, the charts, the headlines, and the macro, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. You guys trade safe, use some risk management, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Until then, peace, love, and profits. We're out.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy.
I pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in track.
Even when we're dead and gone, we'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the homie Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you will part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
Boom shakalaka!
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off to get with them.
Emotional damage.
Alexandra. Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean? You can't handle the truth.
That was awesome, dude.